Hi, Eric. Patrick here. Now, you've asked me to answer a few questions about blogging, and I'm happy to do that. And your first one was the most obvious. How long have you been blogging? Well, I actually began blogging. I've got the date because I went back and looked at my very first blog. It was 01, 09, 2009. I can't believe it's 7 years ago, almost to the day. I was really apprehensive and unsure about the process, but everybody said you got to blog. And when I looked at people who were successful, indeed, they were blogging. And the first few bloggers, they were the people who were early adopters. So the blogs were pretty high level stuff. And it was a little scary to start it myself. But I remember I wrote that first blog and I hit send. And I was really, again, apprehensive and I didn't know what to expect. And sure enough, after a few more successful blogs, I began to find my voice. I found a template that just sort of organically emerged, a style, if you will. And I actually enjoyed the process. I couldn't wait to get to my next one. So the next question you asked is, how do you find time to blog? Well, I'm a little unusual, probably from maybe some of your other clients. I actually love to blog. I like to write and I love being creative. And this is just another creative outlet for me. I like discovering a topic, digging into that topic, and then finding a supportive image that works. So that's the real creative process for me, and I love it. When I first started to blog, I'd wake up in the middle of the night. I'd look over at my wife, she's sound asleep, and I'd be writing concepts, and they were just coming to me like lightning to the rod. It was like drinking from a fire hose at first. I don't know what I did, but I turned on something in my creative process that just wouldn't stop, and it hasn't stopped since. Everything is a potential blog post from the most unlikely sources, something that you read or hear on the radio or a conversation or road sign. You really got to be open to the ideas. And I also enjoy feedback from readers, which, by the way, you're not going to get a lot of feedback from readers. Not many people comment. You'll get a lot of scamming and that sort of thing. But I remember several years ago, one woman wrote, "You say so much with so few words." And that was such a compliment. And that's what my goal was. And I believe I'd finally have achieved that. So to answer the question, I don't really find time. I actually make the time. This is part of my job, so I prioritize it. Your next question, how long does it take for you to get a week's worth of blog posts out? Well, that depends. I don't really write in that way, in that format. When I first started blogging, sometimes I'd spend half a day because I really wanted the content to be rich, because the people that were going to be reading my blog posts were high-level professional people, and it had my name on it, and I wanted the content to be worthy of their time. Lately, I've found some shortcuts. I go back and look at content that I've written before in the past, and I use that and just sort of gear it down to the format, which is a skill in itself and a chance to be creative as well. And as you know, I've started something that's been very successful called the Idea Series. I've elicited professionals from all over the country who are experts in their field related to my field, and I've had them write for me. So that's something you can do as well. Next question, what road bumps have you overcome in becoming a better blogger? Well, there's a couple. The first one is keep it short. This is a new way of writing for me. I'm a baby boomer and somewhat of an academic, and the writing that I was used to in the past was academic writing, which is anything but pithy. So I had to learn to rewrite. Actually, I had to learn to unlearn and start over and using a format that is brief, but yet effective. Number two, let go of perfection. And as you know, this is hard for me. It's got my name on it. And again, I'm really cognizant of the people who are reading the blog. Letting go of perfection is a tough one, but it's something that you've got to do. And the third one, again, it may appear like nobody's reading it. It feels like a thankless job at times, but you got to do it anyway, because just understand the influence you have, you'll never know. The ripple effect, it'll never come back to you. You may get one or two people responding, you'll get a lot of spam, but you got to do it anyway. Just understand that there is somebody out there reading it. What advice would you give for someone about blogging? Well, I've got 5 points here. I'll end with these. Number one, don't view it as a have to. Don't look at it as a homework or an assignment. View it as a get to. You get to share your thoughts with others. Number two is enjoy the creative process, which I absolutely do because it is creative. Number three is involve other voices. As I said with the Ideas series, don't do it yourself. Bring other people in. It'll make your blog a stronger blog. Number 4, keep your reader in mind as you write. So who's your avatar? Put a picture of them on your computer as you write. Who are you trying to reach? And the last one is stay open to any and all sources of potential topics. They'll come from the most unlikely places. For example, one spring season, baseball had started, pitchers and catchers had reported. And I was thinking, how can I tie in baseball and spring season with my topic of aging in place? And believe it or not, I titled it Safe at Home. And I had a picture of an umpire calling somebody out and somebody safe. And I did different points about how you can be safe at home or how you can be out at home. And it was one of my most read and most creative blog posts ever. So it was an unlikely pairing, and it worked out very well. So with that, I will say goodbye and keep blogging. And again, think of it as a creative process and enjoy it and have some fun. Thanks.